Welcome to part 1 of our English Fluency ABC series. Following a 7-day pattern, you, my friend, will be able to master some of the most important vocabulary, expressions, idioms, and much more used by native speakers on a daily basis. By the end of this 26-letter journey, your English fluency will be transformed. Are you ready to unlock the power of the alphabet? Well then, let's jump right in. The first part of our pattern is vocabulary. Day 1 of our 7-day pattern. And our first vocabulary word, starting with the letter A, is ambivalent. Once again, ambivalent. Now the question is, what does this word ambivalent actually mean? Ambivalent means having mixed feelings or contradictory ideas about something or someone. It also means being uncertain or unable to choose between two contrasting views. In English, we say ambivalent. Here's the first example sentence. I'm feeling ambivalent about accepting the job offer. The salary is excellent, but the commute would be exhausting. Here's sentence number 2. Her ambivalent attitude toward marriage stems from witnessing both successful and failed relationships in her family. And finally, sentence number 3. The critics were ambivalent about the new film, praising its cinematography while criticizing its plot holes. So our first word is ambivalent. The second vocabulary word using the letter A is affluent. Again, affluent. Excellent. Last time after me, affluent. Excellent. Now this word affluent, again, starting with the letter A, it means having a great deal of money or wealth, or prosperous or rich. Again, it deals with wealth. We say affluent in English. Now the first example sentence using this term affluent is, the affluent neighborhood was lined with sprawling mansions and luxury vehicles in every driveway. Our second example sentence is, despite being affluent, he lives modestly and donates a significant portion of his income to charity. And our third example sentence is, the rise in affluent millennials has changed marketing strategies for luxury brands worldwide. So once again, our second term using the letter A is, yes, affluent. Excellent. Now our third term using the letter A is audacious. Audacious. Again, after me, audacious. Excellent. Now, this term audacious, again, another term used by native English speakers on a regular basis. It just means showing a willingness to take surprisingly bold risks, showing a lack of respect or being impudent. So we're going to stick with the first part. Again, taking bold risks, not worrying about anything, being audacious, just like the man we saw in the video. Being audacious, not scared of anything. Here's the first example sentence. Her audacious plan to climb Mount Everest without supplemental oxygen impressed even the most experienced mountaineers. The second example sentence. The startup's audacious claim that they could solve the energy crisis raised both eyebrows and millions in venture capital. And our final example sentence is, I was shocked by his audacious behavior when he interrupted the CEO's presentation to challenge her statistics. So again, our third vocabulary word, looking at our 7-day pattern, the first day being vocabulary, we have audacious. Excellent, excellent. Now we move to day 2 of our 7-day pattern. Again, following this pattern will help you improve your English fluency. And our second day is expressions. So expressions that start with the letter A. Our very first expression is add fuel to the fire. Again, add fuel to the fire. Once again, after me, add fuel to the fire. Excellent. Now, this just means to make an argument, problem, or bad situation worse. We're already in an argument, we're already heated, we're already upset, and someone walks in and says something that makes me more upset or makes the person I'm talking to more upset. They added fuel to the fire to further incite an already tense situation. Now, here's the first example sentence. Her sarcastic comment only added fuel to the fire during the heated debate between the colleagues. Next, please don't add fuel to the fire by bringing up their past mistakes when they're already upset. And finally, the newspaper's controversial headline added fuel to the fire on the ongoing political crisis. So once again, we have add fuel to the fire. Excellent. Now our second expression is against the clock. Against the clock. Last time after me, against the clock. Excellent. Now, this expression just refers to racing to meet a deadline, trying to accomplish something in a limited amount of time. In English, we say against the clock. Here's the first example sentence using this expression. The surgical team worked against the clock to save the patient's life after the serious accident. Then we have, we're working against the clock to finish this project before the client meeting tomorrow morning. And our third example sentence, the detective was against the clock as crucial evidence would be compromised if not collected within 24 hours. So once again, we have against the clock. Our third expression is at the drop of a hat. At the drop of a hat. Once again, at the drop of a hat. Now, this expression just refers to doing something without any hesitation, instantly or immediately, on the slightest signal or provocation. Hey, I won't hesitate. I'll do it at the drop of a hat. Here's the first example sentence. My grandmother would bake cookies for us at the drop of a hat whenever we visited her. Next, our second sentence is, don't make promises to help at the drop of a hat if you know you're already overcommitted. And finally, true friends will come to your aid at the drop of a hat when you really need them. Again, at the drop of a hat. You got it? Excellent. All right. This was our third expression and now leads us to day 3 of our 7-day pattern. Again, in this English Fluency ABC series, we're following a 7-day pattern. So day 3 is all about mastering English idioms that start with the letter A. Our first English idiom is all ears. All ears. Now this again, after me for pronunciation, all ears. Excellent. Now this idiom just means listening attentively, very interested in hearing what someone has to say. Hey, I am all ears. Tell me what's wrong. I see it's written all over your face. What happened? I'm all ears. I'm ready to listen. Here's the first example sentence using this idiom. If you have any suggestions about how we can improve our customer service, I'm all ears. The next example sentence. During the emergency meeting, employees were all ears, anxious to learn about their future job security. And our third example sentence. When the renowned scientist began explaining his groundbreaking theory, the entire audience was all ears. So once again, our first idiom, all ears. Our second idiom that starts with the letter A is apple of one's eye. Again, apple of one's eye. Last time after me, apple of one's eye. Excellent. Now, this idiom just means a person or thing that is cherished above all others. Someone's favorite or most beloved. Again, in English, we say, yes, apple of one's eye. Here's the first example sentence using this idiom. Their youngest daughter has always been the apple of her father's eye, receiving special attention and affection. The next example sentence is, that vintage Corvette is the apple of his eye. He spends every weekend polishing and maintaining it. And finally, the talented young pianist was the apple of her teacher's eye, showing remarkable progress with each lesson. So our second idiom, once again, is apple of one's eye. Our third idiom that starts with the letter A is ace up one's sleeve. Again, ace up one's sleeve. Last time after me for pronunciation, ace up one's sleeve. Excellent. Now, this idiom just refers to a hidden advantage or resource kept in reserve until needed, or a secret plan or trump card, like, I got something for them. I have an ace up my sleeve, something that will catch them off guard, something I've been holding back. An ace up one's sleeve. Here's the first example sentence. The company has an ace up its sleeve, a revolutionary new product that would transform the industry. Next, our second example sentence is, the defense attorney revealed her ace up her sleeve when she presented the surprise witness who completely changed the case. And finally, we have, I always keep an ace up my sleeve during negotiations by researching my competitors thoroughly beforehand. So again, our third idiom is ace up one's sleeve. Excellent. Now we go into the fourth day of our 7-day pattern, mastering English fluency using the letter A. Phrasal verbs for day number 4. Here's our first phrasal verb that starts with the letter A. The phrasal verb is act up. Again, act up. Last time after me, act up. Excellent. Now, this phrasal verb just refers to something misbehaving or malfunctioning, or to not work properly, or to cause trouble or problems. In English, we say act up. Now, here's the first example sentence using this phrasal verb. My car has been acting up lately. It makes a strange noise whenever I accelerate on the highway. Sentence number 2. The children started acting up during the long ceremony, fidgeting and whispering to each other. And finally, sentence number 3. Her arthritis tends to act up more during cold, damp weather, causing significant discomfort. So again, our first phrasal verb is act up. Excellent. All right. Our second phrasal verb is add up to. Again, add up to. One more time after me for pronunciation. Add up to. Excellent. Now, this phrasal verb just refers to an amount to a particular total. To add up means to amount to a particular total, or to make sense logically, or to have a particular significance or result. 3 specific meanings of this phrasal verb, to add up to. So check out the example sentences because they'll help you understand it even more. The first example sentence is, all these expenses add up to a significant amount by the end of the month. Next, sentence number 2. The evidence doesn't add up to a convincing case. There are too many inconsistencies in the witness testimonies. And finally, her dedication and extra hours of practice added up to an outstanding performance at the championship. So once again, our second phrasal verb, starting with the letter A, is add up to. You got it? Excellent. All right. Our third phrasal verb that starts with the letter A is account for. Again, account for. Good. Last time after me, account for. Excellent. Now, this phrasal verb just refers to explaining or giving a reason for something, or to constitute a specified part or proportion of something, to take something into consideration. This one also has 3 specific definitions. Again, account for. So let's check out the example sentences to see how you can use it in real life. The manager asked him to account for his absence during the critical team meeting yesterday. Next, online sales now account for nearly 40% of the company's total revenue, showing a significant shift in consumer behavior. And finally, the research team failed to account for several environmental factors, which compromised the validity of their findings. So once again, we have account for. You got it? Excellent. I love it. I love it. All right, now we have to move to part 5 of our 7-day pattern. Again, English Fluency ABCs, we're looking at letter A, and day 5 is all about sentence patterns. Learning a sentence pattern that starts with the letter A. Now, before I give you the sentence pattern, I want to let you know that I am teaching you based on a 7-day pattern to help you improve your English fluency. And this actually comes from a course that I have that will help you. It's the 365-day English plan. This plan will help you with lessons each and every day of the year. So if you want to follow a plan and keep studying with me, all you have to do is go to www.speakenglishwiththiffani.com/365plan. Again, speakenglishwiththiffani.com/365plan. Now, moving back to day 5 of sentence patterns. So, how can we understand sentence patterns that start with the letter A? We have this pattern right here. After a specific action, plus a person or people, plus a second action. Once again, you start with after, then insert an action, then you have a person and a second action. We're talking about a sentence pattern that starts with the letter A, and the first word is after. So let's break this down. A sentence pattern like this shows a sequence of events with the first action introduced by saying after, completed before the second action begins. So what does this actually look like or sound like? Here are some example sentences that use this sentence pattern. Here's the first sentence. After we finished the marathon, that's the first action, we are the individuals, the people, celebrated with a feast at our favorite restaurant. What was the first action? Finishing the marathon. Who? We. After, the second action now is celebrated with a feast at our favorite restaurant. You see now how the sentence pattern works. Check out the second example sentence. After the storm passed, the first action, residents, the individuals, emerged to assess the damage to their properties. What was the first action? The storm passed. Who were the individuals? Residents. What was the action? They emerged to assess the damage to their properties. Again, this sentence pattern starts with the letter A, being the word after. And finally, check this example sentence. After she mastered the basics of coding, Julia developed her first mobile application. After, what was the action? She mastered the basics of coding. Who? Julia. What was the second action? She developed her first mobile application. Makes sense, right? Yes. So this is our sentence pattern for the letter A. After an action, then individual or individuals, and then a second action. This leads us into our 6th day of our 7-day pattern. On the 6th day, you want to focus on American culture. We're talking about a pattern that will help you improve your English fluency. And on the 6th day, you need to focus on American culture. Let's dive into American culture dealing with the letter A. We have American football. American football. Now, American football, from the standpoint of American culture and also English fluency, why is it important? So, this is a distinctly American team sport that evolved from rugby in the late 19th century and has become the most popular spectator sport in the United States. If you want to speak a language well, you need to not only memorize the words and understand different expressions, you need to also understand the people and the culture so that you can apply the language properly. Now, there's some interesting things about American football. Again, start with the letter A that you need to understand. Here are the important details. First, the Super Bowl, the championship game of the National Football League, has evolved into an unofficial American holiday, complete with parties, special food traditions, and highly anticipated commercial advertisements. So, when you're getting in a conversation with someone and you're trying to speak English and all of a sudden they start speaking about American football and they seem so excited and they're talking about the Super Bowl, now you understand why. American football is a big part of the American culture, which means if you want to join the conversation, you want to learn terms related to American football. You want to learn terms related to competition so that you can speak English fluently with native English speakers. Makes sense, right? Here's another aspect of American football to improve your understanding of American culture. American football at the high school and college levels serves as a cultural institution in many communities, fostering local pride, traditions, and rivalries. This is so true. People are very, very serious about football in America, not just at the NFL level, high school and college, very important. So these conversations will come up. Now you won't have to be lost. You'll be prepared to join in the conversations. And also, the strategic complexity and physical nature of American football reflect cultural values of teamwork, specialized roles, tactical planning, and physical toughness. So again, you're coming to an understanding of the American person, the individual. We value sports, we value competition, and we value hard work. These things affect the way we speak. And this is why it's so important on the 6th day of the 7-day pattern, you focus on American culture. And this leads us to day 7. Day 7 of our 7-day pattern. Day 7 is all about reviewing. You've learned a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Day 7, it's time for you to review what you have learned. So let's review by checking out a story. This is a story that includes the terms you learned throughout this lesson. So listen closely for the terms, the vocabulary words, expressions, idioms, phrasal verbs to see if you understand. The title of our story is A Letter of Ambition. Alex stood at the edge of the university campus, heart racing. Today was the first day of his audacious plan to study abroad in America. Despite being affluent back home, here he was just another international student with broken English and dreams too big for his vocabulary. "I'm all ears," said his orientation guide, Olivia, noticing his confused expression as she explained the campus map. "First time in the United States?" Alex nodded. "Everything is happening so fast. I feel like I'm working against the clock to understand everything." "Don't worry. After orientation week, things will settle down," Olivia reassured him. In his first linguistics class, Professor Williams introduced himself as a former American football coach who found his true calling in teaching English. "Language learning isn't linear," he explained. "Some days your pronunciation will act up. Other days your grammar will flow perfectly." Alex quickly became the apple of Professor Williams' eye with his determination. Despite struggling, he raised his hand at the drop of a hat whenever participation was encouraged. His roommate, Tyler, however, only added fuel to the fire of Alex's insecurities. "Your accent is too thick," he commented one evening. "How will you ever lead class discussions?" Feeling ambivalent about his decision to study abroad, Alex considered dropping out. But he had an ace up his sleeve. His passion for storytelling transcended language barriers. For his midterm presentation, Alex prepared a multimedia story about his hometown. When technical difficulties struck, he improvised, using expressions like add up to and account for naturally as he painted pictures with words instead. By semester's end, Professor Williams asked Alex to share his language journey with incoming international students. "I was terrified of speaking," Alex admitted to the crowd, "but I realized that fluency doesn't mean perfection. All those small conversations, mistakes, and recoveries add up to progress. Language is living. It grows with you." As applause filled the room, Alex smiled. His journey through the letter A had been just the beginning, but already he discovered that language acquisition wasn't just about memorizing words. It was about having the courage to use them, even imperfectly. You caught it, right? This story on our review day, day 7 of our 7-day pattern, included the terms you learned during the 7 days, day 1 to day 6. And now you've mastered the letter A for our English Fluency ABC series. I'll talk to you in our next lesson. You still there? You thought I forgot. You know what time it is. It's story time. Hey, hey, hey. I said it's story time. All right. So, for story time this week, I want to tell you a story that I have not told in a long time. Now, this happened before I went to Korea. I used to work for TSA. I was a web developer there, and I had great coworkers. And one day they told me that they were going to be doing a kickball game. Now, growing up, I played kickball almost every day. At school, kickball was the game to play. So I loved kickball. So it's kind of nostalgic when they said, "Hey, Tiff, do you want to play kickball with us?" I was like, yes, let's do it. And growing up, I was an athlete. So I was like, yes, I'm going to go out here with my coworkers, have a great time, get some good exercise, and just have a ball. So the day came for our kickball game. We were going to play kickball after work. So I brought my clothes to work, and after work, everyone was saying, hey, Tiff, we'll see you there at the field. The field wasn't too far from our office. I said, okay, I'll see you guys there. So I went to the bathroom and I changed my clothes, and then I got in my car and I headed to the field. So I get there, and again, it's really exciting. You're seeing your coworkers in a different light. Everyone's happy. We all were. At that time, I was in my 20s. We had people in their 20s, some in their 30s. I don't think anyone was in their 40s, but we were all out there ready, and we were playing the game. So I remember my first time coming up. We were on offense now, like we were kicking the ball. On defense, we were doing good, catching the ball, getting the other team out, and it was my turn to kick the ball. And I remember I said I was an athlete growing up. I said, okay, I'm going to come out here. I'm going to kick this ball out the park. I had it all built up in my head. So the server had the ball, right? The pitcher, and she pitched the ball the first time. And so I kicked it, but it was kind of a foul ball. So they said, okay, we'll do it one more time. I said, all right, no worries. So she rolled it. I said, I'm about to kick this thing. Now, one thing I did neglected to tell you on purpose was that the pants I was wearing were called breakaway pants. Now, what are breakaway pants? So growing up, I played basketball. And when you play basketball, well, they don't really use them anymore. They have these pants that have buttons that line the sides. And they're called breakaway pants because you can grab them from the waist and pull forward, and the pants come off very easily. So it's something we did in high school and college, like mainly all the basketball players. You're warming up, kind of doing layups, shooting around a little bit, but once the game is about to start, you tear off your breakaway pants because it's very easy and you just run into the game. Now, the pants are very comfortable. You can wear them as normal pants, but they just kind of come off easily. Now let's come back. The pitcher is rolling the ball to me. I have my breakaway pants on. In my mind, I'm saying I'm about to kick this ball out the park. I am reminiscing on my time as a child being on the winning team all the time. And the ball gets to me, and I'm running full speed, and I kick that ball, and the ball goes far. My pants are still on. So I take off running to first base, and I'm running. I feel the wind in my air, and I'm moving, and all of a sudden I feel a little extra wind on my legs. But I'm still running. My team, they start screaming like, Tiff, and I'm like, yeah, y'all, I'm going. I said, man, I must be running really fast because I'm feeling all the wind on my legs. And I look down. And I see my legs. I don't see my pants. And one of my coworkers is sprinting over to me, trying to grab my pants, trying to cover me up because it was a co-ed game. We had our male coworkers there and our female coworkers there. So one of my female coworkers ran over to me. She grabbed my pants. She wrapped herself around me like, Tiff, put your pants on, hurry. Now remember, these are buttons. So I can't just pull my pants up. They're breakaway pants. So I'm standing there trying to button things together. Needless to say, after I got my pants on, in the moment of silence that occurred, we all looked at each other and we just busted out laughing. So it's a moment we will never forget. My coworker saw a new side of me, but we had a good time. So maybe you had an embarrassing moment like that with your coworkers in the past. If you did, share it with us in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will talk to you in the next one.